What's up guys, it's been a minute. I've been taking a break for personal reasons, but now is a better time than ever to come back. A recent PlayStation Partner Award interview came up, and we have some fun new agendas and narratives to run with. Yippee! You love to see it. The Monster Hunter dev interviews are almost always a PR nightmare for how out of touch and ridiculous the devs can come across, starting as far back as the beta for Wilds, and that is me putting it nicely. So this isn't a defense video for the devs or Capcom, I could care less about that. But this is a video actually looking to shed light on something said in the interview that people are now currently trying to use as a slam dunk. If you have not seen my 4-hour video or watched it fully, that is fine. It's a long ass video, I don't blame you. I will be using some of the points from the video and some of the research I did for that video, but first, let's look at what was said in the interview and what kind of buzz this has brought to the Monster Hunter community. Now keep in mind this is a machine translation, so it's not the best, but Tokuda says, including the previous game Monster Hunter World, we are analyzing data on where beginners are stuck. In Monster Hunter Wilds, we created an environment that makes it easy for new users to clear the monsters, such as not being able to reach them. On the other hand, we've added something like focus mode as a useful element not only for beginners, but also for existing users. We also have a translated summary from IGN that reads like this. We analyzed what kind of places beginners were stuck in, including Monster Hunter World. We have worked on these points in turn to make it easier for new users to clear hurdles, such as being able to reach certain monsters or to craft certain types of armor. In addition, we have tried to adopt as many new elements as possible that are beneficial for both beginners and existing users, such as focus mode. This time, as a result, making the game easy to beat even for new players and players who could not clear it before. I think the difficulty curve was a little lacking for existing users. Not sure exactly how legit IGN's version is, but it reads in a way that makes more sense. Like the "we created an environment makes it easier for new users to clear monsters, such as not being able to reach them" part. Now, naturally, what do people do when they read something like this? Surely, they would actually pay attention to the key phrasing and think about what the devs mean, right? Maybe dig in and do a little research, since it seems like it could be a little ambiguous, right? Like, what did they mean when they specifically cite finding or reaching the monsters as one of the two things they point out as a feature to help people beat the game? Surely people won't just run immediately around and try to slam dunk a point that they want to push, but we're never able to really substantiate, right? Wrong. Now we have people running around attempting to call people shills and stupidly pulling out Redditor style checkmates. It is corny as hell, dude. And it's always in these weird moments that people just come out of the woodwork to literally create new things in the agenda for World. What is it about Monster Hunter World that fuckers just think they can say shit and then you can't just boot up the game to call them out for being wrong? Do they think they can just lie and get away with it? I mean, there are people that are just going to get the Felford Again award every single fucking time they see someone validate their opinion. But at the same time, like, are you serious? You can just pull up the game and check. I don't want to be making this video for a long time, so let's get right into my analysis of Tokuda's statement and the actual evidence that I will have for my own claims. First off, the statement he makes specifically targets player retention across story, and this is perfect because I already dove into that in my 4-hour video, using the achievements for all platforms as of the date of April 4th, 2025. This is what I compiled for the info for Monster Hunter World. We see that only 45.2% of the Steam player base beat Xeno'jiiva, concluding the story of World. We see that 42.14% from PlayStation and 12.69% from Xbox. Xbox stats will be skewed towards more loss at the beginning, as this happens with most games that ever get on Xbox Game Pass, so keep that in mind. Now for world progression, you do the beginning Zora section, hide in the shrubs away from Jagras, and then you fight Great Jagras. On every platform, this is where the largest percentage drop is found for any specific achievement. After Great Jagras, you are thrown into the section where you have to find the new base camp, and it wasn't uncommon for people to get lost there for a little bit. After that you have Kulu and then Puki. This is all before leaving the ancient forest, where many people felt like it was easy to get lost and that it could be annoying to get to monsters, especially if you didn't know the trick to reset the scout flies if they were misbehaving, where you open the map and you deselect and reselect the monster or question mark icon. For just this small section of the game, before even leaving the ancient forest, 23.4% of the 54.8% Steam player base that stopped playing stopped, which means that 42.7% of the people that stopped playing World stopped before even leaving the ancient forest. This trend also carries over to the other systems. 27.27% of the 57.86% stopped for PlayStation, which is 47.13% of all of the players that stopped before then. 63.55% of the 87.31% for Xbox, resulting in 72.79% of the total player loss. This is a significant loss, and the largest swath across every platform dropped off before even beating Puki and exiting the ancient forest. I wonder why Tokuda brought up finding monsters. I wonder why, even though monsters being auto-revealed on the map for Rise was controversial, they decided to still go ahead with it for Wilds. I wonder why Sacred Auto-Run exists. The focus mode making some of the more popular weapons like Greatsword more accessible to play and stuff also contribute, which is another thing they cite. I'll even take it a step further and throw in the Divine Blessing on the starting armor, which this isn't the first Monster Hunter to do that, by the way, and the ability to eat for 50 HP off the rip lends the game for an easier starting curve. Albeit kind of marginal considering the only real headbuster you run into while you were only eating for 10 HP in World is Tobikadachi, though most people never really had trouble with him. In the 4-hour video, I talk about how the design philosophy for Monster Hunter games' difficulty curve can vary from game to game. I recently played Monster Hunter DOS all the way to the end of the HR cap. In my first play session, I made a strong hammer after one gathering quest and beat the starting monsters pretty handedly and without any of my own potions. But I can tell you that DOS low rank gears up super quick and becomes harder than every 4th and 5th gen low rank combined. But DOS is also super funny. Playing the intended way in multiplayer, in Hub, the high rank progression is easier than the high rank progression in some areas of even the new gen games. I say this to provide an external in-series example of different design philosophy. Here is a goofy little paint graphic I made to kind of demonstrate slightly how the design curves can vary. If you are having a rough time getting it based on this, think of it this way. In World, the conclusion of low rank is fighting Diablos, Rathalos, and Zor Magdaros. For Wilds, it is fighting monsters like Jin Dahad, Guardian Arkfeld, and Zoshia. Of course, this is because Wild's story was tied to low rank. A comparable example of significant story in low rank would be something like Monster Hunter 4, where your low rank final boss in Village is Shagaru Magala. Now, I've played a lot of Monster Hunter at this point. I don't think Jin, Gark, and Zo were easier than Diablos or Rathalos, let alone fucking Puki. Zora is not even on the table for discussion because you can literally beat him faster by going AFK and not engaging with him at all. Nuance, guys. Nuance. Think, Doomer. Think! At any rate, I hope you find this video interesting. I hope this sheds some light on this asinine narrative being pushed by people that only care if they can appear right, not what necessarily is right. I hope I gave you something to think about. And if you're one of the types of people that doesn't care to critically think about their own views, you just want to be mad and shit, I am living in your walls. Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter. Quick shout outs actually. Thank you guys for staying and supporting me even despite my my break. I truly appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Special shout outs to my head chefs and filet mignon, Akir, Funalos, Monster Hunter, Sev for short, Mr. MH, El Mango, Scully. You guys are all great. Thank you so much.
I've got dinner ready. Let him cook.